Yesterday, I was having lunch with a realtor friend of mine in the market. Now, she's not even in my firm. I just like her a lot. And so we went to have lunch face to face because it's so much more fun than just emails and text, if y'all didn't remember all that. So anyway, we were talking about some of the more entertaining phone calls we have been fielding here of late. Now, we're not violating the code of ethics. We didn't use any names. And we were not saying anything nasty. We were just communicating what's happening out there, because you know what, some of what's happening doesn't make a lot of sense. So for example, I listed a property on Friday, had an agent call me on Saturday and say, hey, can you hold the house till Tuesday till my buyer can get off work? Now listen, what I wanted to say was, this is not Kmart. We do not do layaway on houses so that you can come look at it sometime, maybe take it home or not. Houses don't work that way. If your buyer wants it, they need to get off work now and come look at it and make an offer, or heck, utilize the due diligence period and go on and make your offer before you even look at it. But calling to ask me to take it off the market for a few days till he can get around looking at it and decide if he wants to buy it, and we don't know whether he'll want it or what the offer will look like, that doesn't make sense. So think about these phone calls when you're making them. And the other kind of phone call we've all been seeing lately, and I bet you've seen it in your market too, is that when a property goes under contract, that's when everybody wants it. Isn't that crazy? It might have been on the market for a day, 6 months, 15 years, doesn't matter. As soon as somebody wants it, everybody else does. Well, we get an offer call the day after it goes under contract from an agent who hasn't shown it, who hollers at me and says, why did you go under contract? Why did your seller not wait for me? And I say, you haven't shown it. I did not know your buyer wanted it. And he says, well, if you'd have waited for us, you'd have had a much higher cash offer. Now, for one, your buyer hadn't seen it. You don't know that they wanted it. And for two, you never showed it during the available time period. And for three, why do you think your offer is any better than the one we have when we don't know what your buyer would do and you don't know what our seller accepted? It's kind of silly when you call and holler at your colleagues in the market. Why don't y'all take a little nicer approach sometimes? And if you're a buyer, tell your agent to be a little bit nicer when they call, because, you know, I go to bat for my clients, but I try to do it in a pretty professional, reasonable way, because if that deal were to go sideways, I want that listing agent to call me back first because I was the nice one with a very reasonable buyer, because my seller wants somebody who's going to consummate the transaction. So lesson 1, there's no layaway in real estate. Lesson 2, be sweet and kind. And then number 3, with all the rain coming in, y'all please be careful, look after yourselves, and don't show property on flooded roads.